Here we are, and in this video, one's going to be stating the obvious, and that is the whole thing that, obviously, it's New Year's Eve. And this would also be the last, video for the year anyway, and all that mess, you know? So, yeah. Another year has come and gone, and all that stuff. And, yeah. It's definitely been a lot of, ups and downs, depending on how one looks at it and all that good mess, outside of, the whole YouTube or internet stuff in general. Obviously, one got a job doing dishes at a school and all of that. So now that we're obviously doing something instead of sitting on my rear end most of the day. And yes, the hours are short. It's just through the lunch period and after that, that's it. But still, hey, at least it's something. At least I'm not, like I said earlier, at least I'm not sitting on my rear end all day, So yeah, that's one positive thing and all that. The former job, which was like a pizza place, it was getting just weird and bizarre, The hours was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday or something. I can't remember off the top of my head at the present moment, but that's besides the fact. And then it went from 11 to 4 to 11 to 3. I'm like, okay, whoopee, And then it was just Friday and Saturday. And then the hours was just getting weirder and weirder and weirder to the point where it was like, what the crap? And there were some choices made on my behalf that wouldn't exactly be, image-wise, wouldn't be the nicest thing and all that. That's besides the point. My thing is, hey, we're definitely work-wise in a better place and all of that. We're doing good, And I know with the upcoming new year, everyone's going to try to do that whole New Year's resolution thing, which 9 times out of 10 it only lasts, a couple weeks or something, depending on the person. Maybe a couple months if the person's really, gung-ho on it. And then everything goes to crap afterwards and all that mess, And my thing is, well, there's obviously some things you want to do. Obviously, be better, at the job you're currently doing. I mean, it's washing dishes, so it's it's pretty simple in that regard. But my whole thing is hey, you want to do your job, even if it's a simple thing, to the best of your ability and all that. And as far as the New Year's resolutions thing, like I had said it also at the beginning, or at the end, at the beginning part of this little speech thing and stuff. There's some habits one is, wanting to kick and all that mess, Obviously, it would be the whole idea of, not partaking, so to speak, And those, close to me would probably get the idea of what I mean by wanting to not partake in all that. Because, hey, that obviously costs money. We go to the store, be like, hey, there's the bottle, there's this, there's that mess, Even if it's the cheap stuff, you add that up, and it's no. And also, it's you don't want to be that hypocrite where it's okay, you go to these meetings, you share your piece about whatever the reading is that particular day. You go to counseling sessions and the therapist, and you talk about this, and what would you do like directly afterwards, right? So I don't want to feel like I'm that weird hypocrite person where it's like I'm doing one thing or I'm saying one thing and doing the exact opposite, Eventually, and someone would obviously smell the BS and be like, buddy, And I feel like position-wise, we're kind of in like that. It's like a crossroads turning point thing because it's like, hey, we got this new job and all that after God knows how long of a wait. Obviously, I don't want to F that up and screw up because, hey, since this is a school gig one has, it gets out that, hey, someone's been doing something stupid in that sense. The only problem is, since one is, at the time of this recording, like 32, obviously that would be an adult, and people get wind of that, age gets put out there, name gets put out there, and then everything goes to crap, That would be like the worst case scenario, obviously. So yeah, like I said before, I don't want to be the hypocrite where you're saying stuff in meetings, you're saying stuff in these therapy sessions and all that, because eventually it's that crap will get off the pot thing, So yeah. And also, again, with that back and forth stuff, it gets like old, right? Think of some goofy trend or whatever, whether it's whatever, even if it's something as simple as that whole 6-7 thing that's pretty big, where everyone's like, okay, 6-7, that's a number. 6 and 7 are numbers. You put it together, you get 67. Okay, what's the big hairy deal about that one? It's not that Skibidi Toilet, Ohio Riz, whatever BS is a thing. But yeah. But back to the getting old part, it would just be getting old pretty quick due to the going out, get the bottle, get the whatever. So yeah, that's like a trend or like a New Year's resolution thing where it's like, hey, save money and all that mess, Obviously, it's like you want to knock that off. So hey, it saves money, and that like whenever it's like you do like the report things with like the bank statements, it says like, okay, you sent money from like checking like savings account to checking and all that and whatever would just get old and just be like, buddy, how long are we going to do this, So yeah, I think that's a habit one wants to like knock off because again, it gets old. Eventually someone would smell the BS and be like, buddy, like we said earlier. So yeah, there's that whole bit on that as far as the New Year's resolution thing. And hopefully that actually sticks because, like we said at the beginning of this video, it's like, how many times does somebody say like, hey, for example, like, one's gonna like lose weight, or hey, we're gonna start doing this, or hey, we're gonna stop that. How long does that actually like stick? So yeah, this is a thing where it's like, hey, you want to like work on like your own crap because like, hey, technically it's like one's obviously an adult, like I said, being 32. So it's like no one's metaphorically like holding a hand, being like, okay, buddy, let's go over here, and all that, because that would also get old and be kind of weird. So yeah, that's like the the things we want to work on in like the new year, and all of that. And obviously, one is doing the SoundCloud stuff, so you want to like keep posting on that thing as well. So yeah, and other things that one would want to work on, but obviously within the time frame, obviously I can't say all of it because this video would be obnoxiously long and all that mess and stuff. So yeah, there's that part. But again, yeah, there's the SoundCloud stuff. There's the habit you want to try and knock off in the next year because, like we said earlier, it gets old. So yeah, those are the two like big things one's trying to work on and all that stuff. So yeah, with that and all that business, that's about it. Peace out.